Today on Public Eye News, Calumet wraps up Hockeyville and a driver was arrested after a crash on U.S. Highway 2.
Later in the show, Maya Kurth will have your weather and Michael Banks will have your sports. Hi, I'm Rachel Farmwiller.
I'm Joseph Sigourney, and welcome to Public Eye News. The Northern Michigan University chapter of Active Minds, a national mental health advocacy organization, is bringing a touring exhibit titled Send Silence Packing to campus Monday, September 30th. The exhibit features 1,100 backpacks to represent the approximate number of undergraduate students in the country who commit suicide each year. It'll be featured on the Academic Mall from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Active Minds will have trained professionals on site to provide information about the warning signs of suicide, guidance for friends or those who may be suffering, and resources for those seeking help and distribute preventative materials and resources. The Village of Calumet wrapped up a week-long celebration as the latest Craft Hockeyville USA. Michael Babcock with the Calumet Coliseum said, quote, "We sold over $100,000 in merchandise to date, which is really exciting, and the proceeds of that will go to our arena improvements, which will help this 100-year-old building continue to be strong," end quote. The city was packed all day Thursday with teams showing up to walk the red carpet early and open skates for fans to watch, and then a pep rally, and then, of course, the game itself.
Just this morning, the Diocese of Lansing has released a list of members of their known clergy that have sexually abused children and minors. On that list was a former priest of the Marquette Diocese, Terrence M. Healy. While assigned to Sacred Heart Church in Lawrence and St. Joseph's Church in Sault Ste. Marie, Healy was reported for sexual abuse of a minor between the years 1968 and 1974, but some instances could have gone unreported. If you or someone you know has been affected by sexual abuse or assault from Terrence Healy or anyone else, please contact the Michigan Attorney General's toll-free reporting hotline at 844-324-3374. If you are struggling to cope with being assaulted or abused in any form, according to psychologist Deborah Borys, make sure to give yourself time to really process what happened, talk to others you trust about your feelings, and remember that it is always your choice to continue communicating with your abuser or not, no matter your affiliation before or after the abuse. In Iron Mountain Wednesday afternoon, a 63-year-old man was arrested for suspected drugged driving after causing a very disorderly rear-end collision. The man had apparently crossed the center lane while driving, causing his truck to sidesweep 2 other vehicles before rear-ending an SUV, then pushing 3 more stopped vehicles into an intersection near US 2 and H Street. The name of the drug driver is being withheld until the investigation is complete.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer issued a proclamation declaring September 29th to October 5th, 2019 as Michigan Manufacturing Week. Governor Whitmer said, quote, "Michigan is home to the greatest workforce in the nation, and these men and women continue to push the boundaries of manufacturing excellence," end quote. On May 21st, 2019, Governor Whitmer joined Fiat and Chrysler Automobile's Chief Operating Officer for North America, Mark Stewart, to announce the company's plans to build a new state-of-the-art assembly plant in Detroit and expand production at 5 existing Michigan facilities. The historic announcement is expected to generate 6,433 jobs and generate $4.5 billion of investment in Michigan. The Michigan Appeals Court has affirmed a 40-year prison sentence for a man who killed 5 bicyclists near Kalamazoo while driving a pickup truck under the influence of drugs. Pickett was convicted of second-degree murder. He had taken drugs on the day of his cousin's funeral in 2016 and was driving erratically through Kalamazoo County before striking a pack of bicyclists. The 53-year-old Battle Creek man won't be eligible for parole until 2056. And stay right here, because after the break, we will have national and international news.
I'm Scott Yu. Meet the greatest musician of all time, Johann Sebastian Bach.
This is him, definitely. This is a riddle.
What I discover along the way will change my mind about Bach forever.
Join us for the astonishing riddle of Bach from Now Hear This on Great Performances.
Tonight at 9 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. An unusual shooting that occurred last September has provoked some new attention due to an even more unusual trial that began on Monday. A year ago, Dallas police officer Amber Goyer shot and killed her neighbor, Botham Jean, in his home after allegedly entering his apartment and mistaking it for her own. Goyer's attorneys have argued that the identical floors of the apartment complex led to tenants frequently confusing floors. During Goyer's testimony, she suggests that she missed evidence of it not being her apartment by some distractingly explicit phone messages sent to her from another police officer. She claimed Botham Jean's death was an act of self-defense, although he was eating ice cream in his living room and had left his door unlocked when she entered and killed him on site. President Trump insists he did nothing wrong during a phone call with Ukraine's president, but Democrats are pushing ahead with an impeachment inquiry surrounding the call. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
President Trump is taking aim at House Democrats investigating his phone call with Ukraine's president. He tweeted the fake news media and Democrats working as a team have fraudulently made it look bad. It wasn't bad, it was very legal and very good, a continuing witch hunt.
What these guys are doing, Democrats are doing to this country, is a disgrace.
The whistleblower's complaint alleges senior White House officials worked to lock down all records of the president's phone call out of fear they had witnessed the president abuse his office for personal gain. When he asked Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky for a favor to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter.
The nature of that call has been borne out in great detail by the call record that has now been released. So in a very substantial part, this whistleblower has already been found to be credible.
Everybody's saying, what is he hiding? What is he hiding? He released it. And so it's like, well, implicit in there is aid, even though they don't mention it. Implicit in there is 2020, even though it's not talked about. Got to stop inventing things that aren't there.
President Trump at a private fundraiser told donors he wants to know who gave the whistleblower information, and in a video obtained from the event suggested it was treason.
You know what we used to do in the old days when we were smart, right? The spies and treason, right? We used to handle it a little differently than we do now.
Now, I'm concerned about some of the president's comments about the whistleblower.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she wants to make sure whistleblowers do not face retaliation.
They're a very important part of uncovering wrongdoing in our government.
Joseph Maguire, the acting director of national intelligence, testified Thursday the whistleblower acted in good faith and followed the law. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Hundreds of boys and men have been rescued from a building in northern Nigeria where they have been beaten, starved, sexually assaulted, and chained, police said Friday. Visible marks on their bodies show that some have been tortured. Police spokesman Yakubu Sebo told the Associated Press as authorities tried to track down some of the families of what appeared to be some 400 victims. Police carried out the rescue on Thursday following a tip. It was not immediately clear what led police to being contacted or how such a vast scope of alleged abuses managed to go unnoticed. The police spokesman said the owner and 6 others who said to be teachers have been arrested and are under investigation. A fast-moving glacier is putting a picturesque Italian mountain town at risk. CBS's News' Naomi Choi Smith has more on the story from London.
Scientists believe it could just be a matter of time until this glacier on Mont Blanc collapses. In its path, the Italian resort of Courmayeur, bustling with tourists. Let's hope for the best, she says. Experts say a chunk of ice the size of 100 Olympic swimming pools could break off. The glacier is melting so fast, it's moving at a speed of nearly 2 feet every day. Experts blame global warming.
The situation that we have right now on all the glaciers is very dynamic because of climate change, of course.
Authorities have installed a radar system to keep tabs on the glacier and keep people safe. The local mayor has closed roads, cutting off access to restaurants, hotels, and popular hiking routes. This mountain guide says we need to be extra careful now. There's concern rising temperatures across the Alps will put more glaciers at risk, leaving towns and people in danger. Naomi Choi Smith, CBS News.
And stay tuned. We'll be back after the break with weather and sports.
just going to do what I love. And I think they really responded to that. And so then I felt like, okay, like, I should put out an album now because people want an album from me.
Live from the Artist Den, Saturday night at midnight on Public TV 13.
I'm Maya Kurth with your weather forecast today. Currently, we're looking at the NMU Skycam. It's rainy, classes are winding down for the day, and students are getting ready for the weekend. Looking at our current conditions, it's lightly raining. Temperature is 56 degrees, south-southwest winds at 12 miles per hour, and barometric pressure is 29.61 and rising. This evening, it's going to be cloudy, low of 47, north-northwest winds at 12 miles per hour. Tomorrow, it's going to be sunny. It's warming up a little bit, 58 degrees, north winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And looking at the eastern side of the UP in Sault Ste. Marie, it's going to be 47 and rainy, 58 and cloudy in Manistee, 57 in Escanaba, 60 in Menominee. Looking over on the western side of the state in Iron Mountain, it's going to be 56, 58 in Ironwood, 60 in Houghton, and 56 and rainy back here in Marquette. Looking ahead, Sunday it's going to be a high of 62, low of 52 degrees and partly cloudy. Monday we're going to have a high of 65, low of 63 with thunderstorms. Tuesday a high of 67, low of 48 and thunderstorms. And just as the rest of the week will be rainy, I heard there was some stormy outcomes for the Packers last night, Mike.
Oh, yeah, it was. For today's sports, we have the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles facing off in the game last night. Both teams were able to score over 25 points. The Eagles were able to get the best of the Packers, winning the game 34-27. Despite the Packers having a chance to win late in the fourth quarter, Aaron Rodgers had a great game, throwing for 422 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, while Devontae Adams had 10 catches for 180 yards. Carson Wentz threw for 160 yards with 3 touchdowns. Jordan Howard played great with 15 carries and running for 87 yards and scoring 2 touchdowns. Philadelphia Eagles defensive end Derek Burnett won't be suspended after a devastating hit that injured Packers running back Jamal Williams. Burnett was penalized 15 yards for unnecessary roughness on the play. Bennett's hit will be reviewed for process for a possible fine. The Detroit Red Wings played against the St. Louis Blues last night in a Kraft Hockeyville game in Calumet, Michigan. The Red Wings won 4-1. Anthony Murtha scored 2 of the 4 goals for the Red Wings, and Calvin Packard made 37 saves, while Jordan Binnington made 22 saves for the Blues.
And a Virginia woman has been summoned by woodland rodents in a conspiracy to help their injured young. A 20-year-old woman has reported that a squirrel stopped her on a walking trail and would not let her leave until she followed the squirrel to its injured baby. The baby squirrel is in full recovery from a broken leg thanks to the self-dubbed neighborhood squirrel whisperer. And that's all the time we have today on Public Eye News. Thanks for joining us, and see us again on Monday.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.